Picture this, a thriving rose bush, perfectly shaped crepe myrtles, and lush, full ornamental grasses swaying in the breeze, all surrounded by a landscape free of overgrown chaos. Winter pruning makes it all possible, and in this video, we're going to show you exactly how to do it right. Here's what we're covering today. First, you'll learn what should be pruned in the winter, including which plants thrive with winter pruning and which ones you should leave alone. Then we'll show you how to prune correctly, covering the tools and the techniques you need to know to protect your plants and make them look amazing. And finally, we'll go over when is the best time to prune, so you know exactly when to grab those shears here in Leland, Hampstead, and Wilmington, North Carolina. For centuries, gardeners have timed their pruning to match nature's cycle. Winter is a natural pause, a time when plants conserve energy and prepare for spring. By pruning now, while they're dormant, you're setting the stage for vibrant growth and beautiful blooms in the months ahead. So let's start with what should be pruned in winter. Some plants thrive when pruned during dormancy, and this is the perfect time to cut them back. Here's your pruning list. Crepe myrtles are a summer blooming favorite, and their flower buds form on new growth. This means pruning them in the late winter just before new growth starts is essential to getting best blooms. When pruning, focus on removing small, spindly branches and any suckers growing at the base. Aim for a balanced, open canopy to allow sunlight and air to penetrate. Avoid over-pruning, sometimes called crepe murder, where large branches are topped off, as this weakens the plant and leads to unsightly growth. Ornamental trees that bloom in summer or fall, like dogwoods or flowering cherries, thrive with winter pruning. Wait until after the first freeze when the tree is fully dormant, or prune in early spring before the sap starts to flow and the tree wakes up. Remove dead, damaged, or crossing branches first. Pruning while dormant minimizes stress on the tree and allows cuts to heal before the growing season begins. For trees with ornamental fruits like crab apples, prune after the fruit drops but before new growth begins. Ornamental grasses including pampas, pink and white muhly, breeze, liripe, adagio can start looking untidy once they turn brown in winter. Trim them back to about 6 to 12 inches above the ground depending on the variety. Cutting them earlier if they're messy is fine, but don't cut them back too late in spring, as this can damage the fresh new shoots starting to emerge. For species like liripe, cut it all the way down to a couple inches to keep it compact and encourage lush regrowth. Roses benefit from a hard prune in January through March when they are fully dormant. For knockout roses, cut them back by about 1/3 to 1/2 of their total height. Remove all the dead, crossing, or diseased canes and focus on opening up the center of the plant to improve air circulation. This reduces the risk of fungal diseases and ensures the plant directs its energy into the healthy, vibrant growth when spring arrives. Winter pruning is key to encourage abundant blooms during the growing season. Deadheading hydrangeas is a simple but effective way to keep the plant looking tidy and to encourage future blooms. Focus on removing spent flowers by cutting just below the flower head above a healthy pair of leaves. Avoid cutting too far down the stem, especially on old wood varieties, as this can remove flower buds for the next season. Some hydrangeas, which bloom on new wood, can be pruned more aggressively during the winter to promote vigorous growth and larger blooms. Perennials like daylilies and lantana die back naturally in the winter and should be cleaned up to remove dead or dying material. Cutting them down to the ground level or just above it discourages pests and diseases that might overwinter in the debris. Clearing the old foliage also makes room for fresh, healthy growth in spring. Daylilies in particular benefit from a clean slate, as this prevents fungal issues from affecting new shoots. For shrubs that have become too large or leggy, winter is the perfect time for rejuvenation pruning. This involves cutting the plant back significantly, sometimes down to just a few inches above the ground. Rejuvenation pruning gives overgrown shrubs a fresh start, promoting dense, healthy regrowth and restoring their natural shape. Shrubs that don't bloom in the spring, such as butterfly bush or boxwood, can be safely pruned in the winter while they're dormant. This is an excellent time to shape them and remove any dead or damaged branches without impacting the flowering potential. Since these plants bloom later in the year, they have plenty of time to recover from pruning and produce vigorous new growth for the season ahead. Avoid pruning spring bloomers like azaleas right now, or you'll lose their flowering buds for the season. Now that you know what to prune, let's talk about how to prune correctly, and the right tools and techniques make all the difference. Start with these tools: sharp pruning shears for smaller branches, loppers for those medium-sized branches, and a clean saw for larger cuts. When you're pruning, remember the 5 Ds. Dead branches, cut them out. Dying branches, remove those before they spread trouble. Damaged branches, get rid of anything cracked or broken. Disfigured branches, snip anything that looks out of place or awkward. And diseased branches, eliminate these to prevent spreading. Next, remove crossing or rubbing branches, choosing the weaker or worst placed one to cut. For overgrown shrubs, try rejuvenation pruning. This means cutting them down to just a few inches or feet for a fresh start. And for overall shaping, focus on branches that grow the wrong way or stick out awkwardly from the plant's natural form. Safety first. Wear gloves to protect your hands, goggles to shield your eyes, and always use a sturdy ladder if you're pruning taller plants. It's better to be cautious than end up with a preventable injury. For a quick visual, imagine trimming a crepe myrtle. You'd focus on removing any dead or disfigured branches and shaping it so it's ready to bloom beautifully in the spring. Same with ornamental grasses. Trimming them back now gives them a clean slate for a lush appearance. Finally, let's talk about when to prune. Timing is everything, and winter pruning is most effective when your plants are fully dormant in Leland, Hampstead, and Wilmington, North Carolina. The best time to prune is between late January and March. Look for these signs. Your plants should have no visible new growth, cooler temperatures are consistent, and the structure of the plant should look fully dormant. Late winter is the perfect time to prune because plants are still in their dormant phase, making them less susceptible to stress. Pruning now also ensures your cuts heal properly and directs the plant's energy into strong, healthy growth when spring arrives. By acting during this window, you're giving your plants the best possible start for the growing season ahead. Before we wrap up, here are a few bonus tips to make your winter pruning even more effective. Always clean your tools with rubbing alcohol to prevent spreading diseases between plants. Properly dispose of trimmings. Leaving them in your yard can attract pests. And a fresh layer of mulch after pruning. This helps retain moisture, insulate the roots from the cold temperatures, and prevent sudden temperature shocks. And if you're curious about the impact of winter pruning, check out these before and after shots of pruned ornamental grasses and roses. It's amazing what a few thoughtful cuts can do. Now that you've mastered the what, how, and when of winter pruning, your landscape is well on its way to thriving in spring. But don't stop there. Your lawn needs care too. Proper winter watering is essential for maintaining a healthy lawn during the cooler months. We've created a detailed winter lawn watering guide to help you understand how much water your lawn needs, even during dormancy. Click the link in the description or head over to our winter lawn watering guide video now to ensure your entire yard, from plants to grass, is prepared for spring.